We are now in a pretty strange place. This is the Sala Keo Ku statue park here in Nong Khai, and it has a pretty interesting history.
Hi, I'm Zoe.
And I'm Simon. And since our first trip together over a decade ago, we've taken every opportunity we can get to travel, explore new countries and try new food.
This year we left our jobs and rented out our flat to start a new long-term trip beginning in Asia, where we'll be diving deep into the multitude of cultures and cuisines.
So the story behind this park is that there was this mystic that was born in Laos called Luang Pu. And at the end of his life he was quite the spiritual leader and he amassed a lot of followers. And he had, I think, a very creative spiritual philosophy. And to express this, he started building a statue park in Laos, but then he left the country in the 70s and bought some land here in Thailand in Nong Khai and started building another statue park. It took over 20 years to build this park, and it reflects the way he thinks and his dreams. According to his own story, he at one point fell into a hole onto the lap of his teacher, where he studied and learned all of the spiritual things for a few years, and that's how he basically got all of his wisdom. And this is what we see here. So this is going to be very interesting.
I don't know if it comes across how massive these statues are. They are really, really impressive. I mean, even way before you reach this park by tuk-tuk or by taxi, you can see it because some of the statues are just reaching very high into the skyline, and it's really something different.
This place is not just a statue park, it's also a temple and a place of worship, and there's a very interesting atmosphere here. It feels very local, but then the whole scenery is just quite absurd at times, and yeah, it's a very interesting place.
So all of the statues have some explanations engraved in their bases, but they're only in Thai. So we just tried to Google to find out if there's any information in English. And it said that there are a lot of brochures available about this park, just that they're strangely not available in this park. Because I already asked at the information if they have any brochures and they said no. So yeah.
As one might imagine, this whole park took a lot of work and a lot of time to build. And as Luang Pu got older, he had to be wheeled into the park in a wheelbarrow because he was too old to move himself. And he supervised the whole construction until his death, basically. And I think it was in '96 he fell from a statue and then died. But he still lives here because his body is also being exhibited under a glass dome here in the park. So I think we should definitely find that. And here's a depiction of me after having eaten the 20th pad thai here in Thailand. And, well, I think it's self-explanatory.
There are more than 100 sculptures in this park, and some of them have the height of a 7-story building. And yeah, there are very mixed influences. A lot of them come from Buddhism, different kinds of Buddhism. There are also some images of Vishnu and Shiva and other Hindu gods and goddesses.
This park is just really cool. It's a lot of fun to walk around here. And of course there are many good photo opportunities, but I think it's also just about discovering all these statues that you've never seen before in a way like this, because oftentimes when you visit a spiritual place, the statues will be kind of similar, and I think your mind basically doesn't pay that much attention to them. But here, if you look at the statues, you'll always discover something interesting. And although we don't have the explanation for every statue, I think it's also a lot of fun to just make up your own.
Yeah. Oh, I think this is the one.
This is the birth canal?
This is the one.
Okay.
Like the one statue you have to see here.
Let's enter the birth canal.
Yeah. So this area here that we have entered through the birth canal is representing the wheel of life. So we were just born and we've just passed our childhood. Now we're coming to our youth, I guess, or maybe adolescence. So according to Luang Pu, life is a circle and you pass different stages of life that are influenced by different beliefs and mentalities and also religions.
And in the end you die and get reborn.
So you never get out of that circle until you reach nirvana. You follow Buddha. And if you don't, you're just stuck in the circle.
Forever.
Forever.
Okay, well, Luang Pu's body is supposed to be in this building behind us and it's closed for some reason. I'm not sure. Park is still supposed to be open for half an hour, but I guess we won't be able to see him now. That's a shame. But still, all the other stuff here is pretty cool as well.
So if you ever come here, bring enough mosquito repellent.
I think in Thailand this is definitely one of the cities with the highest population of mosquitoes.
This is just by our experience.
Yeah, that's not a fact. This has gone quicker than a Thai milk tea in the hot sun.
Okay, so I found an explanation online about this statue, which is one of the most impressive ones in this park. And it says, the statue portrays the Buddha in a sitting position with a seven-headed serpent Naga over his head. Legend has it that there was a time when the Buddha was in deep meditation under a tree during a storm. The Naga king, who lived in a pond nearby, was worried about the Buddha, so he used himself as a shelter to protect him from the heavy storm as well as mosquitoes, and such until the Buddha completed his 7-day meditation. This Buddha image is also a symbol of people who were born on a Saturday.
Well, I was born on a Sunday, so
Not for you.
maybe that's why it doesn't resonate with me.
That was super cool, but now let's see what Nong Khai's restaurants have to offer, because we're quite hungry. The Mekong River here is separating Laos from Thailand, so the border is kind of in the middle of the river. And in the evening they're playing music on the Laos side, and you can hear it very loud here on the Thai side. It's kind of cool. And you can cross the border here, but right now it's closed. Yeah, that's also why this town, Nong Khai, which is popular for its convenient location to cross the Thai-Lao border, is now pretty empty. And we're about the only foreigners here. People are kind of surprised that we're here and it feels a bit strange.
So tell me, didn't we come to Isan to try a lot of Isan food?
Yeah.
And why are we in a Vietnamese restaurant right now?
I can explain. So this place is a real institution here in Nong Khai, and it's packed with people. Like all the other restaurants are kind of empty, and this one is completely full. So they sell these Vietnamese spring rolls, but they have kind of simplified them, and they also offer a lot of different variations. So it's kind of a fusion between Vietnamese and Thai cuisine. And yeah, this place is really interesting. It runs like a well-oiled machine. So basically we got here, we were placed at the table, and then immediately pressured to order.
In a nice way.
In a nice way. But we were a little bit overwhelmed. So we just decided for 3 different kinds of Vietnamese spring rolls, which is like the main part of the menu. So the main specialty here is Namnuang, which is a spring roll that is very similar to the Vietnamese Nem spring rolls, Namnuang. But they've changed the name because they did some adjustments to it. We don't really know what exactly they did to simplify it, but maybe we're gonna taste it because we have tasted Nem before, and yeah, very interested to see what the difference is. And we also read that a lot of people who cross the Thai-Lao border here take a lot of Namnuang with them in a box or something, just to indulge on them a little longer and maybe give them as a souvenir.
This is the star of the show. This is the grilled pork. and it's like a big fat roll that's skewered and then grilled on a grill, and this is the end result, and that's basically the main ingredient for the namnuang. And the namnuang basically gets served as a DIY spring roll kit, similarly to how it's done in Vietnam, and it's served with salad. This is basically your outer wrapper, and then all kinds of other ingredients that make up the stuffing. The herbs give it a really fresh taste. This is, I think, a mix of mint and Thai basil, and you stuff it inside with everything else. Then you've got this large spring roll slash burrito kind of situation. And this is not going to be pretty, stuffing this into my face, but very delicious. It's very tasty. Also just crunchy, fresh, and then all of these flavor sensations stuffed inside as well. The sauce is super rich and just very tasty as well.
So this one is not actually a spring roll, it's a sugar cane wrapped with minced shrimp. It tastes really interesting, it has a nice sweetness to it and it tastes really juicy. We also ordered some fresh spring rolls, which definitely remind us of the fresh spring rolls in Vietnam. These ones have pork in it and also some rice noodles, and I think there's a lot of cilantro in it, so I think I'm gonna like it. We did these in a kind of fish sauce with some peanuts. I think they're really good. They are a bit more fresh than the other spring rolls we've ordered here, so I think it's a nice combination in total.
And yeah, it is very efficient. I think they've all got earpieces communicating with each other. And then we also had a look into the kitchen. It's pretty huge, and they've got these machines preparing, I think, the spring rolls. I'm not sure actually which part of the spring rolls, but it is basically a warehouse full of machines producing the food. So that should tell you something about the popularity of this place. It's right at the Mekong River, you've got a nice view, and you've got a lot of food, a lot of people. So I think for us, it's the perfect way of celebrating our last evening here in Nong Khai. And it's also our last evening here in Isan, and we've had a really good time. So cheers to that, and we'll see you in the next videos.